Yep. think big. Here. Start. So Nim, we're up here right now. You know, you're resting in your little bed, having a grand old sleep. I would say these, I'll say for right now, this isn't your old room, but you can go to your old room. I would say your old room, let me find, would be up here actually. So yeah, we'll have you go to your royal bedchamber. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? They're look, they're 50 feet apart, so you know they're not gay. Exactly. It's gazer goo. You mean gazer goo? No, but gazer goo is the stuff in the back. Mm-hmm. He got some of it too. He rolled 27 on con save. Yeah. But Nim. Granger? Do we? DUI. All right. So, as you sleep, you have, you know, some restless sleeps as you rest in your bed. Where did you put your scimitar? Your Moonblade scimitar? Is it tucked in the bed beside you? Okay. Okay. As you rest, sleep, the room opens and it is a white room. It's a strange occurrence because as a dark elf, aka drow, you don't sleep. You have no need for sleep. You are trancing. And as you are pulled into this space, you see fingers clasp this elder looking man with wrinkles, white silver hair that goes all the way down to his shoulders, as he is sitting on a chair next to a table waiting for you, and he is pouring himself some tea, and he looks at you and says, "Are you going to sit?" No. So you're the previous wielder's son? Of the sword, the Moonblade. I've been wielded for generations. The name's I guess we can drop pretenses. Normally, I don't like the immediate takeover of another master, but these are dark times. Would you say? Then let's draw pretenses. You see it take off a ring, and the only thing that changes about this person's body, the wrinkles stay the same, the facial structure slightly warps to be more rounded, the fingers grow a little bit shorter, the ears are still the same height, the hair is still the same level of length and color and volume, the eyes go a little bit rounder, but the body becomes more feminine, and says, most men or kings don't enjoy the fact that the sentience is a female persuasion, which is why I had that ability given to me. But the name is Lysia. I know. I am Lysia Dornvale. You share my name. I am the first queen. My time was cut, and I knew I was not long for the world, but I had much knowledge I wish to impart on many a king or queen philosophies that I felt I didn't fully get to adjudicate in my time. So I abstained to be this weapon of strength and hearth, but also of power. The first of its kind. A generational weapon. We made it in a mockery of the gods. A weapon that can evolve. But I didn't really... Religion and philosophy go hand in hand, and I was never one to make fun of gods, or in any way deny their well-being to the universe. So, of course, after I had done this process, and I had died, the next king that took over found out about hypocrisies and cultists that were attempting to do the same thing that I was doing. And before I could intervene with my philosophy and my candor, he killed them. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but we have what we have. And sentient magic items exist, be it good or bad. My knowledge of Orcus is not of an academic persuasion. It is of personal interest. Ancient and laced with my own righteous fury and judgment. You speak his name as though it is some rising storm. But I remember when Orcus was just a giant. when he wore the skin of battle, not bone. You see, giants, similar to man, follow their creators, titans, and their long history and lineages and family trees. But the difference between titans, giants, humans, or mortals and gods is giants, all giants have the capability to ascend to their titan heritage at any point. It is just a matter of, some would say, luck. Some would say titanic intervention. It truly, we don't have the science or knowledge behind that. That is lost. We don't know how some giants can ascend to titanic levels of power to battle even a god. But some can. And he was one of them. I don't know the Titan interminglings. I don't know why he was expelled. I don't know why they removed him. I don't have that knowledge. I can tell you, from my understanding, what his goal is and what it has been since he has bequeathed the power that he has and has been expelled. That's what I can share with you if you're interested. And I'll be more than willing to share with you. He aims to replace the god of death. He will be the first Titan to sanctify a divine spot. The Veil walking. I'm sorry, continue. There's a reason why Titans and gods are separate entities, and you're not supposed to follow both. They exist to balance one another, and if a Titan were to step into a god's robes and wear a god's robes with the prowess of a Titan, well, I would say that would end everything. Or it would do absolutely nothing. We truly don't know because we don't know what would happen. Because it's never happened. If Orcus becomes a god and is labeled as a god, may the gods help us all. Because the only way to kill a god at that point is to kill their domain. How do you kill death? No. Not necessarily killed, more like staved off. Orcus wants to unmake resurrections permanently unless by his will. He wants to sever the afterlife, tapping into the souls of the endless limbo, the plane of the souls. He wants to use limbo, the plane, the place of being, for his fuel over his dominion. I suspect, and this is why I believe this plane was shunted and wrapped, and the wards that it became wrapped in. Orcus is feeding off the breaking planar boundaries. I truly don't. I don't think it's power to become a god. I think a god will be the effect of what's going to happen if he partly succeeds. God is the effect. His goal is to become death. Not God. Death. The law. The primordial entity. Death. There's no way to kill a Titan. You can only bound them. But there is a way to kill a ascending god. Ascending gods, when they go through the process of receiving their divinity from the universe, I've only seen it once. In that moment between mortality and immortality, there is a convergence of so much energy that if it is redirected back, it'll burn his soul. When you stare at the sun, you only become blind. You're welcome. When you get back, roll an insight check for me on her. Also, Dylan, if you want to take that spell that I made, you're more than welcome to add it. There's something that you're missing. You just don't know what it is. But yeah. If there isn't anything else, I expect wonderful things for you, because I no longer see you, Nim Dornvale, as an heir to a fallen kingdom. Nim Dornvale, you are the heir of the last hope of this plane. I was not around when you made such a wish. I only came to after you released the time bubble. What was your wish? Rewatch the live stream. Rewatch the live stream. You're good. You're good. Yeah. Yeah. And you do, and she kind of says, that is a very powerful wish. I do not know if it will be permanent, but your wish seems to have caused a strange effect on the ground. I would say, naming it after those undead, your wish created a spell. Yes. I mean, I would say the spell that you created is... Let me make sure. Oop. The spell you created was hollow. You made this a hollow ground. Canonically, Nim is the first person to ever have casted the Hallow spell and created it. Mm-hmm. There is definitely a possibility now that that spell has been created and the Weave knows that spell. But your spell came out of a wish. So theirs may not be as powerful. It's not the corpses that you should fear, but the stillness that follows. We're in a world where death means nothing, and thus neither does life. But I would be willing to speak with you at other times if you'll have me, Nim. I'm always here. The sword will evolve as you need it, Nim. It is not limited to just this. This is a starting point. Yeah, you just kind of like walk back until your whole like point of view shifts to just you trancing on your bed. Exactly long enough to be a long rest. You probably need it after that interrogation with a certain someone that you did. But it is daytime, or at least it is morning time. Yes, That is fine. Where would Nim like to go? No, you're good. I wasn't saying anything else. Okay. We move on to where your mother is. She is, I believe, in this floor. As you head off, you see your mother is quickly looking through pages and books. She's looking through spells and scriptures. You see her attempting to cast like a spell, and it keeps fizzling out. And you see the flame on the table. At one point, the flame goes from its normal golden red hue to almost blackish purple, and then it fizzles away. Please, please, please. 1 second, Nim. You see her sort of channeling again, and you see the room gets darker. Shadows grow larger. Please, please, I need this. Please, please hear us. And then you see the spell fizzle, and she kind of gets pushed from her chair, and she just throws everything off to the side and says, "Damn it!" Trying to reach a god. Felt its presence outside yesterday. For an hour. Felt a god's presence. That rainstorm. And it's like they're still ignoring us. And all I can do is just keep screaming and hoping that they hear us. To be loud enough. I have an idea. I'm going to head to the Mage's Tower. Nim, I'll talk to you later. And she is going to head to the mages. Well, you follow her, and she is just quickly rushing over there. Alright, 1 second, because I don't want to keep copying her name, so I'm going to do this. There we go. And I need this. But while we head there, let's check in with our wizard. What have you been up to since you've awoken up in your wizard's tower? Let's get to the director's office. Okay. Yeah, give me an investigation check on the director's office on the top floor. $21. Ooh. Cool. That was me actually. Yep. There we go. So as you sort of look around the director's office one final time to sort of see if there's anything, you do find an unsent letter. It reads, it was like stashed under like a bunch of papers, and it's like written in the back of this journal, and it is addressed to whomever remains. If you're reading this, then the tower's protections have either failed or worse, evolved beyond my command. Professor Reckonar was right. I see that now. The Titan wards did not just contain the anomaly, they fed it, strengthened it. We've been drawing power from a being that remembers the first silence, one that should never have heard our names. Reflections in the mirror room speak to me at night now. I do not sleep. I believe some version of me, a shard, a twin, a failed echo, has already joined the others in the vault below. Gods forgive me, the last thing I saw in the observatory was not a star, but an eye, and it blinked. Burn this tower, salt the roots, tell the world nothing. Director Varen Damaris. Did you identify it? Roll me an Arcana check. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right. Not as funny the second time. I'm just kidding. There you go. Yes, he is. No. One second. All right, there we go. I'm sorry. My whole notes just went down the drain for a second. Okay, I got them back. I was like, oh no, I don't want to have to rewrite. Yeah. I don't have a rebuttal. You can't. You really can't. Okay, so you cast Identify. You do see that this note is hidden with magic. I don't think Identify lets you read it. It just tells you that it's there. So yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. So it doesn't require attunement. It's almost as if like there is the words that you are reading are a magical illusion and you'll need to dispel it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, so you know that illusionary script was casted on this note. So you'll need to like to dispel it. But do you like tear the page from the book or just take like the whole notebook? Okay. You take it. Alrighty. You head downward. Yep. Okay. So you head down to the lobby. You see Nim walking in. You see Nim's mother quickly walking past like Nim and everything. 1 second. Oh, I have to refresh this because it's not wanting to pull her. There we go. There we are. Companions. Where is it? Honestly, I thought it gave it to you. Be full transparent. I thought it gave it to you. Ah. You hear him talking about dispel magic and laughing hysterically, but then all of a sudden the realization hits him. Dispel magic, sadly, is not ritual. It's not. Yep, it is. Yep. There it goes. So you see Nim's mother sort of just quickly rush past you and says, "Good morning," as you sort of come down the stairs, and she races up to this staircase up here and quickly heads upstairs. You guys head Yeah, as you guys race to follow her, you guys are led up to, as soon as I scroll all the way down to it, the library. I like to think that you probably saw this library, saw the disarray, and were just like, that's a morning problem. But you see her actively make her way over to this like center, like floating. I want to point out the floor in the center of the library. It is not a floor. Like, it is just a floating sort of like galaxy-looking room, and in the center of it, connected by bridges, are these like almost like cement slabs. They're just like floating on this sort of like reflective surface that whenever someone takes a step like on the bridge or on the cement slab, you see it like ripple outward. And she is beginning to read right here. She's like, okay, so if I combine channel. Combine and channel, I could, okay, I could do this. But is there anything you two would like to do? As she is just working, like she is furiously scribbling down. She's ripping books off shelves, going through them as quickly as she can, dropping them, pulling out scroll after scroll. She's going full academic mode right now. No, I aspire better alone. Yeah, make me a perception check. How did you sleep, Nim? He asked, how did you sleep? Correct. He was a giant he was a giant or titan that was never spoken. He was like basically the Voldemort of the Titan. Like we don't speak him. That is what you... Yeah, you are 100% correct. Can I please have that perception check, Nim? You guys are just kind of looking at bookshelves. So each of these square cases are bookshelves, and they have books on all sides. So is there any... You go ahead and roll me a perception check then as well. Is there any book in particular, Nim, that you are looking for? Is it about your legacy, your history? Is it about the history of the world, magic, soul-bounded rangers? What is it? What book? Okay. 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 And you got a 17. What are you just casually just trying to eye like interesting books, or are you trying to find like a specific type of read, Kaelar? Correct. Okay. Mm-hmm. You would get the feeling that it's probably not in the bookcases, but probably along one of the suspended slabs. Um, but as you kind of are passively looking around with Nim, there we go. 1 second. Okay, so Nim, with a 16, you do find a book. It is called, where did my creations go? There it goes. Yeah, okay. Gotta go to my creations. There we go. There we go. No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. It's honestly not a problem. Okay, there we go. Yes. You see, there's a book titled "The Seeker's Fang: Severing a Bond Without Death." Yes, you're on the right track. Yeah. Yeah. As you sort of open it, it is author is Yashara of the Morning Call. Its description the way it looks is a rare laced manual detailing a sacred and forbidden rites of intentionally breaking a soulbound without killing the creature or damaging the ranger's mind. Yashara was once a renowned soulbounded ranger who released a direwolf companion after it began to show signs of self-awareness and dreams. The Seeker's Fang: Severing a Bond Without Death. Okay. Kaelar, as you are looking around for a book of dispelling magic, you do find a book called a Severing Thread, a a treatise on unbinding and dispelling weaving. It has chapters include sympathic severance, wards within wards, unweaving anchor rituals, and spell rot signatures. It is essentially a text class on dispelling magic. It is a slightly advanced copy on dispelling magic and wards, but it's nothing that you shouldn't be able to handle. As you guys both begin reading, I will do Kaelar first. Kaelar, after studying this book for 2 hours minimum, basically a short rest with the book, you automatically gain the ability to cast Dispel Magic once per day, and you get to roll with advantage if it's an illusion, a glyph, or a necromantic binding. So you can go ahead and add Dispel Magic, and you can sort of, you don't have to equip it as a prepared spell, but you get to do it once per day, essentially through this book. As this book kind of lets you do it as a ritual without it actually being a ritual. Okay. It is. As you read more into this, you do find about a method that abjuration wizards would actually use to get high off of. It is called spell crack. It's literally cracking a spell magic and siphoning it into your body, and you get to essentially ride the high off of what the other spellcaster was feeling when they casted this spell. Because it tells you how dangerous it is, as well as if you do meet a person that has a predisposition to spellcrack, it is very dangerous to dispel magic on them, as they could keep pulling more magic out of you. The last time it is stated that there is an addendum to this book that happened about 300 years ago. So about the time, well, actually, it'd be about 478 years ago for your guys' time period. But it was written 300 years because of everything. So when the Hollowborn started to appear, there were Hollowborns. There were people that became Hollowborns that were addicted to spellcrack, and they became known as siphon zombies. They can eat magic. They are very rare, and normally they siphon their own necromantic energy out of their bodies, erupting their souls. But there have been some who have found places where magic is constant enough where they can just live. Some say they hoard magic items to devour magic items. But there have been things found about spellcrack though that aren't necessarily terrible. But mind you, everything that you do with it, you have a higher and higher chance to become addicted, which is why it's never recommended to do it. But if you do, spellcrack, if attempted, makes all abjuration magic that you cast 3 levels higher, regardless of the spell slot used. And any damage dealt to you while you have a ward, one of your arcane ward active, is reflected. Your ward still takes damage, but the damage is reflected back. Correct. It doesn't tell you the recipe on how to do spell crack. It just tells you like the very bare minimum is breaking another caster's magic and siphoning their magic into your body as it breaks. So no, it doesn't do that. They seem to be more intelligent with wizards. But I will also tell you, in my world, just so you guys can know the relevance of this, the basics of spellcrack, what it's telling you to do, is how arcane was made in my realm. And how it got imbued into the drugs and how anyone could take arcane and become addicted to it. Hey. Yeah. You pull it out and go ahead and roll me a d20 and add your spell modifier, so you're +6 to it. And you get to roll with advantage. $19. The 16 did it, but with a 19, you blast it out, and what you are left with is encrypted memo level 9 clearance for the eyes of the tower director only. Response to Saz Tam. It's no longer a conjecture. The necromancer professor Saz Tam has breached the directive protocols in violation with interdisciplinary concord. He and his splinter cabal have accessed the third vault, previously sealed following the siege of Talarin. He and have stolen multiple shards of null delirium from the Titan Ward's containment node. Reports indicate that he had begun replicating the wards with modifications to reverse containment to draw undeath outward. He is no longer acting alone. Reckonar insists he has deceived, but I speculate collusion. Sastam attempted to disable the arcane lattice, but the blood rune was severed during the collapse of the subfloor atrium. His fate is unknown. All signs point to Saz preparing a reverse ritual, not to trap the dead, but to unmoor the boundaries between death and arcane. If he succeeds, the wards will not protect us. They will become conduits. He and his book he seeks from the Librarium of Endless Seed. God helps us if he finds both. The tower becomes a spire for a new domain of undeath. I leave this message hidden in hopes that one among you still remembers what the Titans died to bury. Damaris. Cipher key 47-B, Star Ward Mercy. Star Ward Mercy. But while you're dealing with that, we're gonna jump over to the other one. Yay! Okay. 1 second. It's being real difficult right now. There we go. Okay. So with the Mercy Fang, you see the contents inside call a soft sever, the Fang that turns, the Dreamwalk chant, as well as the unseen limb. The soft sever, the Fang that turns, the Dreamwalk chant, and the unseen phantom limb. Okay. As you continue reading, the deeper layers of the text begin to sort of like awaken. The script shifts subtly, not in language, but in weight. Some lines pulse as if they were being remembered, not read. After several pages of a hidden passage seemingly emerges for you. Near the binding, written in a curling thread, thin ink is a forbidden name. You see the Seeker's Fang. It's a tooth that cuts destiny, an unthreading fang. It shears off the living knot. Origin unknown. Some say crafted by nothing itself. Lore. This blade was made. It appears to kill, but these blades are meant to protect. This is one made to sever fate, forged from a fang of possibly a beast that outlived its bond and chose solitude over resurrection. The Seeker's Fang can find the tether between souls and sunder it, but beware, it cuts both directions. The ritual focus, it lays out the ritual and what you must have. So to do this ritual, essentially what you must have is you must have a diamond and appropriate cost that you would equate to your life. You must have the Seeker's Fang dagger, one shard of delirium, null delirium specifically, one shard of residuum, or sorry, one pouch of residuum powder. It does not say. Let me see. You do not find any information on how to craft, summon, or find said dagger. The only thing that you are left with is at the very end of the page, you see an addendum written by the author, and it is dated 178 years ago. The addendum says, there we go. The addendum says to the book is, to the reader who finds this, know that you were not meant to. I wrote the Mercy Fang as a balm for the grief, for the guilt, for the things I once called mine and sent away. I did not expect anyone to seek the Fang itself. I certainly did not expect anyone to understand what it truly is. The blade is not a weapon. It is not a gift. It is not even a tool. It is a grave. Every time you use the Seeker's Fang, it remembers the beast, the bond, the moment, the parting. It carves them into its root born. It keeps them. I have severed 9. And now I feel the Fang watching me. I have heard it whisper in the voice of the first wolf. I have seen it drink moonlight and sigh. I do not sleep anymore, not because of fear, but because of dreams that are no longer mine alone. If you're reading this, you are on the same path. And I must tell you, the 10th severance is the last one you make. The next one will be made by the Fang, and it might choose you. Yashara, the last unbound, and it is signed with her name, and it is dated that date. You see her now have like 30 books by her. She is actively like reading through all of them, levitating some of them up in the air and like having them move with like mage hand and stuff. And she's just sort of like spiraling around and where she's been the entire time. Okay, so if I put this on the floor, I have these shards around me. I could attempt. Okay, and now I just. Could you not ever fucking do that again, Google? Thanks. That was Google. You kind of look at your mom as she like her hair has fallen over her face, and she kind of looks at you with like this crazed eye almost, and then you see it shift, and she kind of like fixes herself and says, "May I see the book?" She looks at it and says, "Ha!" and throws it to the side. You no, not her. You don't need to know where she is. Why do you need to know where she is? She's your aunt. She is one of the soul-bounded rangers. Your father was a soul-bounded ranger. Your grandfather on my side, and so forth. The soul-bounded legacy follows me, not your father. Your father just happened to be one because that was the only way my father, your grandfather, would allow my hand in his marriage. But she was expelled from our family for severing from her beast. No idea. Roll an insight check. Second. Can you please roll me a D20 and add 9 to it? Your mom has a very high deception. Is that 13? Or is that 14? Beats you by 1. She beats you by 1. What do you get a D4 from? No, DM inspiration. It's actually a D6 now. But I'm gonna do it too! There is something that you're missing. There's something she is holding back from you. I'm not gonna tell you. The knowledge that you're seeking is not something that will help you go down this path. If you want to find your aunt, here, you see her cut her finger, and she grabs the book that she threw, and she puts her blood in it, and you hear her casting a spell over it. And then she slams the book shut and hands it to you. There. It'll locate her. As you get closer to her, the book will have my blood slowly go in the direction where she is located as you get closer to her. I have to get back to work now. Be safe. Come back. Yeah, so you want to summon Coco? Or like she's just with you, I'm sorry. Hi, sir. I've been reading other books. Like this one, and she kind of brings it over to you. And it is The Science on Trapping Prey. Okay. Oh. Well, okay. I mean, it's not really my place to say, sir. I'm bound to you. We are partners, but you're the one with all the power here, really. But how much of a partnership can it truly be when you're the one that gets to walk, talk, and, you know, have a life? I'm bound with you. It's not, I'm not angry by it by any means. It's okay. I like it here. I'm just letting you know from my perspective, is it truly a partnership or is it just something you wish is a partnership? I mean, we normally aren't given a lot of information. You're learning. You understand. It's not a bad thing. I mean, you're telling. Look at me. I'm a flying snake. The most I would have is having another flying snake that I could connect with and have a family with until I die. But with you, I get to go on adventures and put my life on the line. It's been a great 3 days working with you. I can say for certain I've never casted magic from my breath. I didn't even know I could do that. Is that normal? Hmm. Maybe that's the pro. That's the positive. Whenever a beast companion dies, the next one gets stronger. Yeah. So I wonder if I die, if the next one will be even more powerful. Why do you think there have been limitations that 10 is the max? Maybe he's finally living a life that he's always wanted. I don't think I've lived long enough to decide. But if it makes you feel any better, I chose you when I was being reborn. There were other not people. I do want to say that's Christian misspeaking. She doesn't say people, but she says there were other creatures that could have been selected, and I chose. Nice. Well, I'm glad. I think I chose right so far. I've been molting quite a bit though. Could you? I'm gonna go dive into some water. And you just see her sort of like fly over to the staircase and begin to descend downwards. Maybe all of the Soulbounded Rangers were lied to. Or maybe it's just because of the new wish. When that wish was cast and you said, oh, this just made me the most powerful person. I was like, did it? But yeah, Kaelar and Nim, from here, where would you guys like to go? Okay. And the longest time that you've been here, you don't know if this tower has a basement. Because it doesn't come out and say that it does. Like, it was never told to you, and this tower rotates. Like, magically rotates. Possible. Okay. You guys head down, and you are here. In the wizard's apartments. Let me spawn you guys in. And boop. And boop. It's a bunch of bedrooms. This is where Kaelar would have slept, to be fair. Yeah, there's still another staircase that you can take. Would you like to go down further? Okay. This was mainly for students, not necessarily professors. But yeah, you're free to check it out. Okay, go ahead and give me perception or investigation. I will say just 1 for overall. Cool. Correct. Do you? Right now? Okay. Go ahead. 21. Okay. As you guys walk around these wizards' apartments, you see the dust hangs thick in the air. Doors hang open, furniture scorched or frozen mid-animation. One room is still glowing faintly with protective runes, while others have collapsed inwards as if the space warped. These were once the chambers of powerful academic-fueled minds. As you sort of, Kaelar, as you sort of look around, you see a compartment behind a wall panel in one of the rooms, a long abandoned study. They find a panel hidden behind a crumbling bookcase. In it contains a velvet wrapped wand and a personal journal signed with and blood smeared, belonging to a student of Sastam. Correct. Reckonar's lies too easily now. Her wards hum with decay. The others don't see it, but I caught a glimpse in the mirror. The lens doesn't show futures. It shows what might have already happened. I saw Saz walking these halls in bone. I saw myself bound to a phylactery I never made. What even is a phylactery? You see beneath the journal that you read, there is a ritual scroll that is partially burnt, and it is titled Stabilization of Temporal Echoes via Sigil Severance. Reference Spellcrack Variant 3B. And you see a small little like vial sort of like roll out of the scroll, and it's like this sparkly blue teal powder. Okay. With yeah, what'd you say? Okay. With Nim, with a 21, you see a polished mirror across the room, cracked but intact. It shows a reflection that doesn't match your current reality. The reflection is of a room that shows a man still seated at its desk, writing feverishly. If anyone looks away and back, the figure stands now, facing the viewer, watching. As you approach the mirror, it becomes a scrying pool, revealing the youth in the necromantic class, standing in this very room, speaking to a robed, faceless figure, whose voices echoes with layered tones. Then it is agreed. I will fracture the barrier myself. Reckonar's wards will not hold, but they will fool the Titans long enough. Afterwards, the mirror shatters inwards. Fragments hover momentarily before disintegrating into ash. Yeah, you rolled a 21 in perception. Kaelar, you saw the mirror shatter and turn to dust, but you didn't see what was in it because you were actively reading your notebook. Yes. 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 One second. Are you still wearing those red robes, by the way? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. The wand is a this charred wand hums with broken abjuration energy. It seems to vibrate faintly, near undead or illusion-based magic. It is not currently vibrating. It's just a charred wand right now. There does seem to be some semblance of magic in it. Do you want to take the time to identify? That's your choice. Yeah, and his voice sounded layered. Go ahead and make me a performance check to see how well you sketch. Not bad. It's a pretty good hollowed figure. As you're as you draw this figure slowly, as during that 10 minutes that he is setting this up, this identify ritual. 1 second. Scroll. Second. As you draw this out, it's a very good drawing, and you sort of hold it to Kaelar as he's finishing his identify. At the same time, Kaelar, roll me an Arcana check, and as you look back at your picture that you just drew, Nim, the face has eyes. You look at it more, Nim, the picture that you just drew. Is that a mouth? I need Nim to make me a charisma saving throw. You do get advantage because you are an elf. Nim, you hear in your head, I need you. Help me. I suggest you go to the basement. You are under the effects of the suggestion spell and are suggested to go downstairs and open the basement door. You may do that in any logical way Nim would see fit. But as this happens, identify happens. With a DC 20 Arcana check, you find out that the wand that you were identifying is 1 second. Scrolling up. It is called the Wand of Stolen Tethers, crafted by Adrin Rekinar, Professor of Abjuration and a Warden of Forbidden Threads. The wand belonged to Adrin Rekinar, a visionary abjurer who ambitions. Oh my god. A ward belonged to Adrin Rekinar, a visionary abjurer. Wielding this wand during the tower's final days, she attempted to sever growing influences by targeting tethered constructs and forbidden rituals. The final stand took place deep within the subfloor atrium, where she spoke her her ward pulse was recorded and then silenced. Now forgotten in a hidden compartment of her quarters, the wand hums faintly, still warm with her defiance. You are also granted its abilities. This wand has the ability to once a day, you can attempt to successfully dispel magic, a magical tether. Until the end of your next turn, the creature cannot benefit from concentration spells, phylactery bonds, or summoned creature links. Please note that after a successful use of this spell, the wand turns to dust. The tether will reforge itself after a set amount of time, as it's not a permanent disconnect. It does have a secondary ability. This one is the more permanent one. It is called Unravel Essence. As an action, target a summoned, conjured, or possessed creature within 60 feet. They must make a Constitution saving throw or be banished to a place of no origin. No concentration required. Because of the state of this wand, it would also turn to... Here you go. I will send this over to you. Okay, you guys start heading to the basement. You may roll a perception check to see if you could tell. It is not an illusion or, one second. It has to be undead or illusion magic. This happened while you were casting your ritual. We head to the Nexus. Thank you. We are at the basement. As you step down, it's almost as if like you know where to go, Nim. As you sort of walk down and walk over, you reach this like middle pedestal, and it's a gear like construct, but at the center of it is basically like a clock. And right now you see the hands have stopped moving. As you can see, there is a piece slightly out of place, and you hear that voice in the back of your head that says, "Open the door. Open the door." Yep. Okay. You see Nim keep doing that over and over again. Yeah, make me an investigation. So you're free to ask the question out loud. Construct. And you sort of just stare at it. It's almost as if like your eyes, the color around you sort of like loses itself, but the gear that's out of place becomes vibrant. Okay, you reach for it. You immediately see the clock. Every gear lights up. It begins to spin faster, faster, and faster. And then you see the door begin to open. And you see a hand reach out. Frayed and almost like not decomposed. I don't want to say decomposed, but like when you haven't had food and water. I can't remember the word. Yeah, it's emaciated. Like an emaciated hand reaches through, and you see falling on the floor with black robes and rolling an ink quill falls out of his hand, and an inkwell, as well as books and pages. And the spell immediately wears off of you, Nim. And you see him look and say, "Thank you. You have water." He's directly in front of you. I'm spawning him in now. Okay. He is passed out. Yeah, you rifle his pockets and it is filled, like, there's some gold, there's a ring, and there's some pages. It looks like random work or homework. You're just sort of throwing it out of his pockets. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there is a name that's listed on it. And it's a human name. See it say Jack. It says Jack. Please. Please, can I have any water? Or... Sorry. Sorry. It was the only way. Get out. I had to stop him from taking over. He was taking over the school. Please, if we're not too late, we need to make it to the director's office. I have to get him. I'm sorry. It was it was a it was a glyph that I put to activate that spell when someone looked into the mirror. You must have looked into the mirror in my room. Please, I meant no harm. Truly, I had no idea that it would have been you. Honest. My name's Jack. Jack Vance. No, I'm a scribe. I'm just a student. It's not terribly difficult. Glyph of Warding and Suggestion are both 3rd level spells, and you can cast Glyph of Warding and then Suggestion through Glyph of Warding to when a specific action happens, it triggers Suggestion. I have to tell him about Saztam's plan. His plan to let the undeath runes out. He sucks it down. He sucks it down. You see as Kaelar pulls out the cauldron, 4 additional hands help him lift it out of the bag and set it down, and then slither back into the bag. Coco, yeah, she eventually she answers you and says, "Hello, master. How can I help?" Okay. What? Year? What? He says the year, and it is 3 years. Yeah, it would have been 3 years before the 4th era. So canonically 700 years into your past. What? No, no. possible. Her mom was a divination professor. What'd you say? To be fair, your father was a ranger. Okay. Yes. Oh, thank you. Truly, you have my gratitude. Yeah. Mhm. Well, to be honest, I was kind of a jack of all trades. I was mainly a scribe for the longest time. Um, oh, my bad. Um, but, I was a scribe for most of my time here, but I really started taking a more in-depth look into divination and necromancy. I thought they were very fun, interesting classes. No, mm-mm. Well, yeah. Oh, oh. What about resurrection? That's still allowed? No, you're good. He says, veil walking. I have heard of it. I've never done it. I would have loved to attempt it. Interesting. I had no idea. What did you major in? He's on his fourth bowl of soup. He's like, he's putting like more soup into his like bowl and just like, oh my god, it's so good. Truly, you saved me from starvation. Thank you. I'll remember your name forever. I have a pretty good memory. I am a scribe. I was a TA for the necromancy professor, which is how I found out about all this stuff. And so once I like investigated more, the principal told me not to, and for my own safety, I should stay away, but I didn't. And so, hold on, and he just like sucks down another bowl. He's about 20, about 20 years old. 20-year-old human. Yeah, that. Yeah, not a principal. Yeah, yeah. No, you're good. But yes, this character's background, yes, he has always been a savant. I know. I was surprised too when I got the letter here. Um, I was working at another school back on the material plane for a while, and then I got hired to come here. So, or well, I sent to apply here, and then they said I could work here and go to school at the same time, so I did. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't unheard of because there was literally cities that traverse plains. Like whole ass cities that would just traverse plains. So it's not uncommon. The only thing uncommon about this whole conversation is the fact of how young he is. Okay. Okay. Still, you. Put me an insight. Not quite sure. He is focused on eating right now. You may insight check. You you may insight check me. Okay. Same thing. You're not sure. Yeah. Yeah. They killed they killed all the fucking deaf and mute people back then. Oh, I do? Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, it is very nice to meet you.
For not.
I'm just packing up my cauldron, dude.
Okay. And then we're gonna go meet somebody before we get too far ahead of ourselves. We'll go up to find my mom.
Okay. One second, let me spawn him in. As you guys sort of head over, you kind of see him look around and be like, wow, the library is in a lot of disrepair. He like starts picking up some books, like putting them back on shelves.
Is she still in there working away at the whatever spell she's trying to do?
Yes. Yes, she is.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of bring Jack over to her and ask if she's ever met this student before.
Oh, Irelius. And she responds and she says, I'm sorry, Professor Irelius. I'm so sorry. And she kind of looks and says, you're not dead? You're human. Oh, well, no. I was kind of trapped in the vault downstairs. Must have happened when the outbreak happened. How are you alive? I truly, I don't remember much. I just kind of remember the door shutting behind me and then everything just kind of turning off. Kind of inspects him. My darling, you haven't eaten and you look dehydrated. Well, come, sit down. Here. And she hands him some water. Well, I may be able to do this faster with my star pupil then. I'm trying to build a lattice to amplify my commune spell. Okay.
Does Jack look like he understands?
He kind of looks and says, I understand. What were you wanting to use as like the conduit source, like to amplify your magic? I was thinking either residuum or delirium. I mean, we could mix. She's like, yes, but that is very dangerous. And he's like, true, but mixing delirium and residuum has the best output for most spells. That's why most potent magics call for it in rituals. He thinks it over. He's not wrong. Alright. I'll go to the castle vault and I'll get some delirium and some residuum powder. We'll do this one way or another.
Are you okay with keeping Jack with you then? Sounds like you two know each other.
Yes, Jack's fine. He's harmless.
Your mom's a dumbass bitch, Q.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe Orcus and this motherfucker are back.
I don't know what you mean. He's just Jack. He's just a scribe.
Yeah, just Jack.
Yeah. Adolf was just a fucking artist, bro. I mean,
oh my goodness. I'm just Jack, who like really took an interest in necromancy, dude.
And divination.
And divination.
Yeah, you know, possibly like rewriting fate and shit. Fucking
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
crazy.
Strange.
Bitch ass nigga, fucking.
All right, I guess we are. I'm gonna go back down. He said it was a. So I'm gonna go back down and look in the basement.
He was stuck in there, yeah, dude. Let's go check it out. Wizard's vault, bro. We're fucked.
Okay, you guys head down to the Nexus.
I mean, maybe. Here's a little theory for you. Maybe whatever happened that made him Vecna only happened because he stayed locked in the vault for way too long, and maybe we've caught him in enough time. And now he is just Jack.
Yeah.
What if, dude?
What if?
Jack from the King Buffet.
What if?
Oh, dude, let's go to
You guys open the door and you see the door to where Jack was is still open. Would you like to enter?
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay. As you step in, make me an Arcana check, Kaelar.
29.
You look and see arcane runes, and they are matching that of the spell Time Stop.
Oh shit.
He was stopped in here. They activate.
Are they active?
It seems they only activate when the door is shut.
I will burn a 3rd level spell slot
Mm-hmm.
to summon my boy.
Okay.
And he's gonna stand here and hold this door for us while we go in here.
Okay. It's so weird that he would just want him to hold the door, but yeah, okay. Holding the door.
And I will point all this out to Nim. I'll tell him there's he really was time stopped in there. If that door closes, it'll lock us in again.
How did you guys continue?
That's why I've got
Go,
Fier's Final Fantasy.
go ahead and roll me a perception check, everyone. I mean, the first thing you guys see is gold. You do see gold on the ground.
Dirty 20 this time.
26.
You guys look around. You see not just gold, but these fancy like glass bottles. And they have like this like arcane energy inside of them.
I'll grab one.
Grab one.
I'm just gonna look at it really close.
You see it. It's like one of those like children's toys where like you put your fingertips to the glass and like the electricity like comes up to the glass and like goes bzzz. It's just giving this buzzing sound.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Half-Life Boss Man?
No.
Nope. If
How
we
many
take
of
him
the
with us,
bottles are there?
There's a total of 4.
they all look the same?
Yeah, mostly. There's slightly shade differences in like the glass bottles, but that's it.
I can identify him if we take him with us. I don't feel comfortable sitting here and ritual casting anything.
Yeah.
I do think we should
Okay.
keep it moving, you know what I mean?
Do you
I'll
want to
give
do you
all
want to
4
grab
them
any of the
to-
gold on the floor? It's up to you. There is gold on the floor if you want to grab it.
You can have the gold if you want. I have a sneaking suspicion that I don't need money anymore.
I mean, I have a lot of money, but I'll take it, whatever.
Okay.
I'm sure not nearly as much as you, but
There is 20,000 gold on the floor.
Jesus fuck. Okay. Yeah. I'll open the bag and just start, scoopy.
Is there anything in the gold as he's scooping it into the bag?
Okay. Yeah, after you scoop that all into the bag, do you guys like turn to leave?
Yeah,
there's,
I mean,
there's
that's all
nothing
in there.
else.
Yeah.
Nothing too big. Secretly, there's just like the fucking Archangel staff or some shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, fair enough.
No, there's nothing like that in here. As you do turn to leave, you kind of see like this door is it's not in a wall. Like when you walked in, it was connected to a wall of like the Mage's Tower. You look at the sides of the room and realize it's a demiplane. This vault is a demiplane.
Oh shit.
And you look and see that there's not too much light beyond the door, but the floor does continue. And you see, just barely peeking out of the light, you see what looks like this sort of like bone. Like a giant bone from behind the door. So like where you guys would have walked in and you turned and just see that the door is just there, an open space, and behind it is, beside it is no wall. It just continues going behind it. Behind it is a bone that's just barely lit up.
How about you go out of the door so that if anything happens, you can get the door back open. And I'll go check out whatever that thing is.
I will pull my owl out of his little pocket dimension so I can keep an eye on Nim, and I will do that. I'll step out.
Okay, you spawned your owl.
Yeah, I'll leave it with Nim,
Okay.
so I can keep an eye.
Okay. Nim, as the owl and Coco punch on your shoulder, you begin to walk. Do you want to light any torch, or are you just using dark vision?
Just let my dark vision do its thing.
As you walk over, this room goes back far, very far. And you see, sort of lying against the wall, arms outstretched, 4 of them to be exact, that seem to be in sort of like this sort of like hugging, embracive motif. See a completely calcified stone and bone giant. It is impossibly big as you step up to it. Its foot is the size of you.
There's multiple of them in like a...
It's just
circle?
a one. It just has multiple arms.
Oh.
It has 4 arms.
Have I
to be
ever
exact.
seen anything like that before?
Roll me a history check with advantage.
No, I haven't.
Yep.
How about me, boss man? That's why I left the owl with Nim.
I should have paid more attention in school.
But that's why you're a great ranger. Roll me a history check, please.
Yeah, how would we have badass garbage men if everybody paid attention?
Exactly. With a 22, as the owl's eyes look up at the face, you see these cold, eyeless orbs sort of just like stare back at you, and instantly, Nim, you would not know this, but Kaelar, you fall unconscious. Full unconsciousness.
Oh boy.
I have a
Okay.
question. Is Scold concentration?
This one is because I summoned him.
So
with a
what
spell slot.
happens after you lose concentration?
I think it dips, right?
I
don't-
think
let me
so.
read it. I mean, I don't see why else
I
I'd
was
be
just-
concentrating
I
on
was
it.
just making sure. So Scold disappears, and as you sort of pass out, Kaelar, the door begins to go. As it's beginning to close on you, Nim. And you hear
can tell
you
that it's
hear
starting
this
to close.
you hear the screeching of metal grinding against each other as you hear the sounds of a door beginning to close.
Does my familiar disappear too?
Familiar
Or
is
no,
not
since I don't
concentration.
concentrate
It is
on it.
just there.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I hear the doors starting to shut, I'm gonna book it.
You book it, and I need you to make a deck save as you see the door is like. You're beginning to watch as the time wards begin to heat up. You make it through just barely. As you slide through the door, you see an unconscious Kaelar, but not just unconscious. You see where his eyes have shut. There is now wards burned into where his eyelids are, down his face, beginning to descend down his face, down his neck, down his chest, across his arms, across his legs. And Kaelar, you're in a dark room. Your body is on fire. You feel so much pain, so much anguish, but it's as if your voice is gone. You cannot scream. And you see this four-eyed creature look down at you, its arms out toward you. And you hear it say,
I was wondering when I would meet you.
I don't assume I can respond, right? I'm fucking stunned.
You see him hold out a hand to you. His hand is as blue as water. And you feel this cool, refreshing wave wash over you as like the burning sensation ends. Nim, to your point of view, you just see like the steam and like the basically the searing smell of skin being seared finally stop.
Jesus Christ.
You then
I'm actively trying to wake him up too.
you then hear him say,
You may now speak.
I may ask you. Is that what you said? I apologize.
May speak.
Thank you for quelling that.
Mortal bodies are not fit for my power, but it felt necessary, as you were not at fault for activating it.
Yeah, you're not the first person to tell me that a mortal's not meant to handle it, and let me tell you, that feeling tells me you were absolutely right.
My name is Arminath. What's yours?
I am Kaelar, and I'm kind of like, if I'm able to like stand essentially now, I will kind of like bow down.
Well, allow me to as well.
you begin to see his body sort of like condense down into a more solidified form. He's still 18 feet tall, but his arms like sort of twist around each other and connect, and his body like squeezes down, and you now hear, I only have a limited amount of voice mods. This is not the same person.
Oh, it's all good.
It's in form better for you.
Easier to understand for sure. Is he
Great.
speaking to me in common or giant or just because I'm curious? Sorry, it's not relevant.
I speak to you in a language that only we understand, for you are my avatar.
Exceptional. How can I be of service to you?
The Titan Lords have fallen in its place. Death is screaming out. My planar bindings are failing. The only thing I can do to make sure it doesn't cascade to the other realms is sever this plane from the others. But eventually, the people here will die, and it will be my fault. Will consume this plane.
What if we can restore the Titan wards? Well, can we stop the necessity of cutting this place off, causing everyone else to die?
There will still be a chain reaction. A great event will happen. Magic will be forever scarred and changed if this plane is to return.
Well, that is certainly your decision to make. I'm but a peon. I mean, I can't begin to fathom consequences on that level as a mere mortal.
You know, it is your life that is at stake, so I cannot choose what is the best path for you. You were given this power. It is up to you to use it. I am only a vessel for power now. I died a long time ago.
I strive to keep those around me safe, but I don't know. It's quite the moral dilemma if keeping myself and others safe ultimately causes the downfall of magic as the mortal planes know it.
Safety is not always a choice that the good people make.
Oh yeah?
It's okay to let some fall. If they can't pick themselves back up, it is not your burden to do so.
It's a burden that was given to myself whenever I failed to protect someone quite close to me. Maybe not imposed by anybody else, but an oath to myself, if you will.
I am sorry that that's what you feel this power is to do. But the Titan wards are not defensive wards. That's not their purpose.
Oh?
The Titan hordes are what keep the planes from crashing into each other. The Titan hordes is what allows magic to flow to other realms. The Titan hordes is what was allowed to be placed so gods could still receive their prayers.
Oh shit. So I need to release them for the state of the mortal planes to continue to work like they're supposed to.
Allow me to show you.
You see his arm outstretches, and this like crack in like the universe appears as he splits it open very easily, and you're watching the material plane. You're watching seas rise. You're watching volcanoes explode. You're watching storms unrelenting. People crying to the gods to help them. He moves it over to another plane, and you're seeing Mount Celesta, the gods' home, and you're watching it crack and break apart. You're not receiving their prayers. What if I told you that gods and titans, the war between our kinds didn't end in a truce? There was no war. there was a deal. What if I told you the gods are our warlocks and we're their patrons?
Oh, fuck.
What?
This is.
How good of a grasp does Kaelar have on that type of deal? I mean,
I'm gonna say you have a 22 in intelligence. You make your best assumption.
oh shit.
Holy fuck.
This may have been stated before, but their god's power is a shared power.
Yeah. A borrowed power, one might say. As we've heard many times. Q. In many different campaigns now.
Yeah.
They're not able
So
to
I-
uphold their end of their deals while we are not able to uphold ours. Everything is being thrown out of balance.
And to fix that, we must restore the wards, correct?
To fix that, we must restore the wards. Right now, this plane holds the ward of death and undeath at the same time. They have to be released. Undeath is as natural as life is through resurrection. It's okay.
This is
So that's why everything's being perverted on this plane, and the Hollowborn are even a thing.
Oh yeah. By the way, shooting out of the amulet next to Nim, you see Doc Holliday, basically.
Oh, he was in the amulet?
Yeah, he was in the amulet.
Okay.
Wait,
You joined a crazy lore dump moment.
Yeah.
Canonically, Jacob, whenever you aren't here and I don't want to leave a companion behind, you all get sucked into the amulet, whoever isn't here. It's an amulet of safety.
Do I know I get sucked into this, or do I just magically like, boom?
No
here I am,
idea.
and roll
You're
weapon?
just here now. No idea. You were once asleep, and then now you're here. Full long rest.
That was a weird dream. Where the hell am I?
You see Kaelar on the ground, unconscious, with seared, giant kin tattoos all across his body, completely like as if someone took a cow prod and just started poking him with different sigils, burning into his skin.
And I am trying to shake him awake.
Okay. Let's see.
But while you decide on that, going back to
I got-
Kaelar. Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, first, I guess curiosity, skins the cat. I'm kind of like wanting to heal, but at the same time, I want
Assess the situation.
You can make a medicine check.
a medicine check.
Yeah, make a medicine check.
All right, let's see. Medicine. Oh shit, let's do that. 16.
Yeah, you can tell that he's not bleeding out. It's no longer searing into his skin, whatever it was. It's just now boiling and bubbling where the sears were. So he definitely is going to need something to help that part of his skin heal. But while you're essentially helping Nim with that, we cut back to Kaelar. After that grand reveal happens, and you see Aminath stands and look at you and say, "Does this information shake you to your very core?"
It just solidifies my gut instinct that I've gotta help. How do I release these seals, excuse me?
You could do so at any time. The issue is, I would not recommend doing it while Orcus is on this plane with his 4 I would recommend stopping him first. You do not have to. There is no requirement, and I would never require that of you. But do not release you, Orcus. Would cause due side effects.
Okay, order of operations: kill the horseman, kill Orcus, release the Titan wards.
I do wonder what happens if a god, if a Titan becomes a god.
Does
that
not
what-
carry into this?
Isn't that what Orcus is trying to do?
What happens when the patron becomes the warlock? Could a
Yeah, that's a
patron be a
really
warlock
interesting
to himself?
That's a very interesting question.
The universe is vast.
I suppose in theory I don't see why not.
So what are the ramifications of that?
I couldn't begin to understand, as those are not my types of dealings.
Yet. And you
Brought back to your body. As soon as you are brought back, searing pain, and you can scream if
Yeah,
you need to.
I just sit up, scream just out loud, fucking like waking up from a bad nightmare.
You just look at your arms covered in these sigils, and you can feel it on your eyelids, your forehead, your cheeks, everywhere.
Oh God. I guess I'll have to check myself out whenever I can find a mirror.
I'm looking at them right now, correct?
Yep.
I was. What's Doc for do? What's Doc want to do? Let's see. Did they take any damage off of that searing embroiderment that they had happen to them?
30 points of fire damage.
30 points of fire damage. Copy that. Oh, so I'm going to cast a level 2 healing words spell.
Perfect.
Before you commit a second level spell slot, I will tell you that for taking that much damage, I look way better than you might think a wizard would look. There's something to consider.
So level 1.
Yeah.
Would probably be more than fine. I'm an abjuration wizard, so I have a pretty big ward that eats up a bunch of damage for me every day.
It's pretty big. It's bigger than average, some would say.
Yeah, I actually only took like 15 points of damage there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
However-
Doc's want to do a level 1 healing spell, and as he did last time in front of the captain. Was that? Yep. I want kind of like press my hand out, and I'll roll that. 9.
Okay. 9 healing.
Yep.
All right. Roll.
And you just hear Doc kind of whisper faintly. You don't really hear it all. It just he says, I'm trying to think of something clever.
Well, while you think of something clever, roll me a d20.
Roll your d20.
Yep.
All right. Roll your d20. Rub. 6.
You see as this magic takes effect, whatever word he says to heal you happens, and you all three
See the ground beneath Kaelar and Doc and Nim expands out to this white light about 30 feet around Doc, and just this light sort of like ascends upward as this hollowed ground effect takes hold here
Oh shit!
and
I
is
forgot.
permanent by Doc.
Wait, whoa! What did I just do?
You're not quite sure, but you
Okay,
feel this
well,
power radiating from the floor.
all right. Well, Doc made a coin term. Made the one with your name be the one in your chamber.
Oh.
Okay. Well, you are healed for the most part. And you, as you're sitting on this hollowed ground, you do feel a little bit better. But the door behind you has closed. Would you like to finally leave the Wizard's Tower? Or go elsewhere?
Yeah, I think we... Man, I don't know that we really have a lead on our next course. I mean, we know what to do, but we don't know where to go, so...
Speed Doc up a little bit. I'm kind of confused on what's going on.
So what we've discovered tonight is that the short version is we have to kill the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse so we can kill the Titan Orcus who is trying to become the entity that is death, taking over the entire domain of death. However, all of that is on somewhat of a time limit because there's 2 Titan wards here and there's not supposed to be 2 on one plane. I can get rid of them at any time, but if I do that, there's a chance the Orcus gets released. Now, I don't know if that means here or shunted into the material plane, but either way, it's real fucking bad. So,
All right.
We're-
Well, as you're
we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, kind of, at the moment, without much line to guide us.
Doc, you helps you up with his hand, like kind of like a knight's handshake, pulls you up, kind of, I would say, not dust you off, but just double check you and get, like he hears what you say, and be like, "Well, I've never been one afraid of death, but 4 horsemen sound kind of like a serious thing, if you don't mind me saying." And then he says something about a Titan. Well, if Titan's gotta go, by all means, let's put an end to this and let's see how far we can go. Because you know what? I think this pistol right here might just do the job. As Doc's pulling his pistol out and is looking in the chamber real quick, and then slides it back, closes the cylinder, and puts it back in. And says, "I wouldn't mind putting a bullet right between their eyes."
Hell yeah. Seems like our plan. I fucking love Doc, dude. Holy shit. We can. I mean, we know of other cities. We can maybe try and find information in another city. We haven't really been out to the general area since we freed everything up here either. So we don't really know what's going on in Drakenheim right now either.
Well, I got a
It
funny
could be a
feeling.
clusterfuck when we get out there.
Well, as much as it may be a clusterfuck, at the end of the day, no go deed goes undone without a little bit of chaos, my friend. So if we gotta fight hordes, we gotta fight hordes. So if we must, by all means, if we gotta stop something, I'm all about stopping. Because at the end of the day, all I really care is about justice, and that's for the fair and the righteous.
I think we will get along pretty well. I'll give you like
Doc
a
gets
good
this
old
weird
forearm
feeling
grasp.
inside a little bit, but hearing this things about not knowing where to go, and he's not much of a praying man, but he kind of turns a little bit to off towards the side. Is this white ore still going on?
Yes.
Okay. I would say Doc kind of adjusts his hat a little bit, comes down to the knee, and has his hand over his pistol and calls out to the voice he hears from time to time, asking for guidance.
Roll me a religion check with advantage.
Religion check. 24.
That's a natural 20.
Oh, nat 20.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
As you touch the ground, seeking guidance, the white floor instantly shapes and begins to change into the divine symbol of your own god.
Ooh. Is that what's carved on the side of my pistol?
Yes.
I fucking like it.
As it begins to expand outward, you all of you here, what guidance do you need?
We all hear it?
All of you.
Oh shit.
Oh. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I like this. I've heard you from time to time, and I assume you're the one that I've noticed here recently in particular. You gave me this for a purpose. I've not quite figured out why, when, and where you decide that purpose may end or begin. But something needs to be done here. I'm asking you, kindly, and with respect, what do you need from me to acquire said achievement in this realm?
The pacts are being unmade. I am the god of unmade pacts. I exist when the pacts begin to be unmade. For me to go back, for you to do what I need you to do, you must reinstate the pacts.
Reinstate the pacts. Sounds like quite a challenge. Where should we go first?
Your sight is sort of taken, and as if like your subconscious is sort of like thrown into the air, shooting outside of the wizard's temple or the wizard's tower, and you sort of like look around high above the sky. You see a mist covered forest, fogs rolling in. You see a deserted city. You see mountains cracked with death and decay. And you hear his voice say, "The four you seek are at the 4 points of this realm. You may choose
guess
any
not.
one of them to go first."
I guess Doc's subconscious was having a slight little like perplexed, like, wow, this really just happened. Kind of look on his, I guess, spiritual subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Look around. Now, when you say 4 corners, are you talking about north, east, west, and south 4 corners, or are you talking about 4 corners and corners?
North, south, east, and west.
Doc's one. Look towards the west first.
Toward the west, you see a deserted town with a broken, almost similar to that of like the Nevada desert terrain.
We'll go there first.
And you are brought back to your body.
What do you do?
I would say Doc, once his subconscious comes back, his hand on the ground, he kind of stands up a little bit fast for a little bit, like kind of like real quick, and he looks around, kind of just checking everything, like his body and his soul just left his body, and look like, well, damn, that was a hell of a ride. Ain't no horse beat that. Well, all right there. How's everyone feel about a trip out west?
Would west be where Hollow Mist is, or the other city we've been to? Excuse me.
West.
I apologize.
No, west is actually where Duskbarrow is.
Okay. If you've gotten some guidance, did we all get to hear everything that was said to him even after he got ejected, or no?
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
This god don't
Sounds
lie.
like a plan.
Oh, so they could have interjected in this as well.
Yeah, if they wanted to.
Oh,
I think was the voice familiar? Is it the same god that spoke to me whenever I fucked around in that divination circle?
Yes.
As a Titan guy that I'm not supposed to be fucking around with shit.
You also just got
Yeah.
kind of like permanent tattoos all over your body that you didn't ask for.
Yeah. Yes. That's fine. Second time's a charm, right? I'm game. Let's do it, man. Let's go.
right.
I don't think Nim would have any objections.
Nope. Okay, you guys head
I'm
out.
not sure what happened to him. He took a phone call and he's been gone for a hot minute. I hope he's all right.
Yeah, he took off his headset, so he'll hopefully be back, or he'll text. I assume. But let's head outside the city.
Doc's gonna make a kind of funny comment about old boy with the tattoos and be like, you almost smell like a crispy critter there, my friend.
Why do I
But
do
hopefully
that?
Everything turns out.
There we go. That's what I need.
Should we? What time of day is it now, boss?
It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Would you like to sleep at the inn?
Do we know roughly how far that city would be?
From Duskbarrow to here, it's 3 days.
Oh shit.
We need horses.
We definitely need supplies, horses, and I definitely would like to take a rest before we go on a 4-day journey.
Yeah, you
Um,
guys can definitely hop into Tick and Tax Knickknacks.
there's a tick and tax here, even, dude, in the ruined, destroyed city.
Of course, after Mara Hollow, they ran their little ratty asses here.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
We're going to have
Jacob,
to
I'm
give
sorry. Have you ever played in any of Christian's other
First
campaigns?
one. This is his first one.
Yeah, first one.
Oh shit. Okay. These guys are fun. This store is in everywhere in all of Christian's campaigns.
Yeah, Christians popped my cherry last night.
Okay. Okay. Hell yeah.
I did have.
Who is your clerk?
His clerk was a purple tiefling
Okay.
named Gemma.
Yep. Good old Gemma.
We're going to talk about this armor and have it slightly modified for more of a Western look.
Okay.
As much as I like the armor the way it is, I like the properties, but if we can give it more of a Western look, maybe like a vest of steel, kind of.
Okay.
And if anyone is like wanting to craft items of any sort that's non-magical, right?
Yes.
Non-magical items to help. I can help create or modify certain non-magical items that can benefit the rest of the group, correct?
Excellent. Yeah, if we're going to go on a 3-day journey, we'll probably need all the help and resources we can get from all of us involved, honestly.
Yeah, definitely some radiant bullets for sure.
Oh, is your gun one-handed? Your god gun? Your special one?
Yes.
I'll give you this pistol. It's Ashmal. If you want to add it to your character, it's the Ashmal repeater, that fire one that you were playing with a little bit.
Oh.
If you
is
want
it-
one for your other hand, I'm not using the guns. I'm about to try and pivot to a different thing.
That'd be interesting because that would remove my flail and I could use it dual wielding.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested in an exchange. I'm down for that. I
You can-
wonder if
you
I
can just
have
have
the
it.
if I check that ability, if I actually did that for dual wielding. I think I did. Did I?
All right.
Oh, and I also have Dwarvish and Elvish understanding of the languages too.
Oh, nice.
Okay. You go to
We all
Tick
speak
and
Elvish now.
You guys go to Tick and Tack's Knickknacks, which is inside the tavern. Is there anything you're looking for from Tick and Tack's Knickknacks?
Well, I have food covered because I have prestidigitation in the cauldron, so I can feed and water us on the road. We
I
would
almost thought
need.
about doing that. I almost thought about having an ability where I create 35 pounds of food and like I think it's like 15 days of water.
Yeah, because it's great food.
Yeah. No, I mean that would have been. I get it.
Funny
The
thing
cauldron
is,
is
you can
not
still
lucky.
take that every long rest if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Anytime
no,
we were to need it, we could take a nap and you could pick that shit up.
absolutely. Let's see.
Wisdom casters are so good, bro. My first character was a druid, and having the ability to change your shit every rest is so good.
Definitely. That's
Are you wanting any new spell scrolls to add to your spell book?
I'm broke, so I can't do anything.
Yeah,
I'm definitely interested in any spell scrolls I might have.
Okay. We have any first or second level spell scrolls, but only a handful of third.
I don't know that I want any. Yeah, actually, what kind of third level spell ones do you have?
We have Tidal Wave.
Okay.
We have, I think, a Sleet Storm, third level,
Think so, yeah.
and hold on, copy image.
Oh, excuse me.
Sending this
Tidal
to
Wave's cool
you.
one. That's an AC super up.
I might ask the cleric about where can I find weapon blueprints or gunsmithing blueprints of some kind.
Tiny,
Schematics.
Tiny. You just hear her start screaming Tiny over and over again. He'll be here in a minute. I'm sure he'll get you most of your information.
Well, thank you. As Doc tips his hat kindly. Oh, by the way, is there anything you guys have here that I can? I don't know if it's. I'm not quite familiar with this area, but like smoking tobacco or a pipe of any kind.
Yeah, that's here.
Okay. Anyone want to buy Doc some tobacco and some, some rolls for him?
Oh yeah, dude. Throw it on the tab while we're shopping here. I got you.
All right.
Absolutely. I know, man. Every man has a fix.
Well, thank you, sir.
I pat my bag that has an absorbent amount of books in it.
We have Tidal Wave, Snowball Storm, Melf's Minute Meteors, Major Image, Clairvoyance, and Speak with Dead.
I'll totally take Tidal Wave and Clairvoyance,
Okay.
depending on price.
That will be 600 gold.
For the pair?
Oh,
Yes.
my goodness. Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Start a tally for me because I got a question
Yeah.
too about some other stuff. What do you have in the way of shields? I've been working on a little something in my downtime.
Oh, we have a lot of shields. What are you looking for?
Oh, I'm maybe looking for. Am I looking for a pair, Christian? Do they come in pairs to do what we're trying to do?
There's a couple that are in pairs.
Okay, yeah, let's see some pairs.
Okay.
wasn't sure how to ask.
Yes. Here's a pair of dual-wielding shields. The Aegis pair, the Twin Vows. You have Vow Piercer Aegis and the Oathbound Aegis. Would you like them?
Yeah, sure. How much are they?
For the two, it'll be 2,000 gold.
Okay, so my total is 2,600.
Correct. And you can make those whenever.
I will give her 2,700.
Oh, thank you. You see coming up from behind Doc, somehow more silent than a mouse. You just get tapped on your shoulder, Doc, and you turn and see this 12-foot tall, oh my god, Tiny, which is a Loxodon, a woolly Loxodon, basically an elephant person. And he looks down at you with his tusks and his nose and says, I hear you were looking for some blueprints for guns and gun manufacturing. Name's Tiny.
How you do? You almost gave a man quite the fright there, my big friend. I have a friend back, friend I once remember. We called him Little John, and he was quite the man himself. Yes,
Name's
I was
Tiny.
looking for Tiny. Privileged to meet you. Yes, I was quite incurring the fact about blueprint for manufacturing or gunsmithing of some sort for an idea I have.
Okay, what kind of idea?
I'm looking for something that can build me a carbine rifle.
Oh. I can do that pretty easily. If you are I can have it delivered to you.
Delivered?
Yeah. It'll be a down payment of 700 gold, and then on receipt, it'll be 800 more gold.
Ah, I see. I'm quite the broke fellow right now, so I would definitely have to get back to you, but I appreciate the idea that what you have going. If I can give you some schematics on what I'm doing, do you think you can tell me whether or not this may or may not work?
Sure.
Well, I'm looking for something that has designed something that's about 34 inches overall length, cold steel octagon iron barrel, no more than 26 inches long.
A man that knows what he wants.
You see Tiny has actively been taking metal from his bag and has actively been already started crafting it. You see this like divine magic similar to yours sort of activate through Tiny as he's beginning to sort of like meld the metalworking and begin to work it. Continue.
I'm looking to have a lever action capability.
All right, I got
For
a
a
lever
single
right
shot?
here. Yeah, I got a single shot right there.
Wood grip with a wood buttstock with a steel plate on the back.
Yeah.
And then two feather sights, one for the rear, one for the front.
It definitely looks like something that I could be able to make, or something you could make. Not a bad design.
You good, Q?
That's very interesting what you're doing there, Tiny. What kind of steel is that you put on that octagon?
Mithril.
What is that?
It's light steel.
White steel?
Or diet steel. It's lighter. I was thinking about maybe adding some orichalcum tips and maybe some adamantite veins. Make it
By
really
all
pop.
means, Tiny. I'm not going to argue with you on the craftness of your design. By all
I'll get
means,
back
I
with
like
you.
it. Well, thank you.
He walks.
Thank you very much.
You see him walk out of the room, and you see him open a door. And you see as the door opens, you swear for just a moment, You see a beach, and the door shuts behind him.
What in tarnations? I must be seeing something. All right, friend. All right.
But yeah, after that, and everything that happens, and we're resting up at Tick and Tax, getting ready to move on to Duskbarrow, the next town that we're going to move to, which it takes 3 days to get there. I think we'll end it here. So sorry you joined in late, Jacob, but you came in hot. With a natural 20 religion. You're fine. My man came in swinging.